And welcome back, sages and witches, to Let's Play Bayonetta 2. We have Chapter 12. This is another, well, technically it's not a boss-only chapter, but in practice it really is. And it is by far the hardest one in the game. This is probably the hardest boss in general, so this is going to be interesting. There are ways to cheese this fight, but I have access to precisely none of them at this moment, so we're just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. But before we do so, let's visit Rodon. Alright, I just wanted to see if he was going to say anything. Oh, hey, platinum ticket. I forget what the exact requirement is for this. I think you have to spend, like, at least 1,000,000 halos, I think, is the way to unlock it. But the platinum ticket is one of Rodon's treasures, and it opens up a special bonus boss fight, which, well, I have yet to actually take it on, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to it in the course of this Let's Play. I would have liked to ideally do everything, but the two final challenges of this game are really tough, and I don't know if I have time to work on them. But if I can manage it, I will do my best. With that out of the way, we just want to stop in here and buy an accessory, Eternal Testimony. I've already described what this does, but to just recap, when you equip this, it automatically charges 2 orbs of magic for you. So if you keep it on at all times, you will always have a base magic of 2 small pearls. So, you know, that means it speeds up the amount of time you get Umbran Climaxes by 25%. So, you know, pretty good there, and pretty helpful in these boss-only chapters where we don't get into too many fights, so we can't really stock magic. So we're pretty much just going to be using it as we get it. With that taken care of, let's actually set up our equipment and actually get into the fight proper. Since I don't want to have to scramble to remember to set up my equipment, we're just going to set up right here. We do want to keep Undine equipped, and we're just going to swap out the Mallet of Rewards with Eternal Testimony because we are not going to be... Oh, wait, did I leave without... I think I left without... Yes, I did. Once again, I make that mistake all the time. It's so unintuitive to me. I'm used to a lot of the games where you just set that stuff and then you leave the screen. Alright. Now with that all taken care of, let's get into Chapter 12, the Lumen Sage. We do not get much time to think with the start of this stage. We've got a bit of a mini-game. This is similar to Route 666 in the first game. Climax Horse, I like that name. But it's a lot less annoying, a lot less difficult, and much, much shorter. So I don't mind it nearly as much as Route 666 in the first game. That was actually my least favorite level. But yes, to get the platinum time score on this, you just want to be holding speed up at all times. And otherwise, any combat in the stage is really simple, and there are not too many obstacles to actually evade, even on Infinite Climax. In fact, it's the same across all modes. So let's just get into it. I just want to be paying attention here, because right at the start is where you're likely to take damage. You get 2 obstacles you have to avoid in rapid succession, but as you can see, they are not too difficult. One thing to note is that your magic is charging up constantly here. We can do Umbran Climax on Diomedes and just immediately take out the enemies as they come up, and you can cancel it and then start charging up your magic right again. We got 2 of these guys right here. Just take them out real quickly, then cancel it so we can charge it up. And I think those are the only greeds we actually see in this chapter. I, of course, did a quick practice run, but most of my practice was on the boss of this chapter, which was much more difficult for me. But here we got a Gomorrah, thus confirming that there are multiple Gomorrahs, and the one that died at the start was not the only one. That was kind of a question people had with the pre-release reveals for this game showing off the Gomorrah boss fight at the start. Is like, hey, what about Gomorrah? Like, you know, didn't he die at the end of the first game when Baldur broke his neck? And yeah, that was not the only Gomorrah. So, you know, it's nice that they thought about answering those burning questions people had. Getting into this next section here, you don't really have to jump on there. I just like to because it's fun. We're going to have a couple more enemies coming up. We've got a Pain over here. We're just going to take him out real quick. If you actually hit the enemy and... with the sword beam while overlapping them with the blade, it'll just kill them immediately. Not too many enemies in the stage that you can do that against, though. That's one of the only ones, I think. But yeah, you just want to hold the Umbran Climax there until the second one appears and then cancel it after it's done, or just let it run out, because by the time we run into enemies again, we're going to have another one, so it's not a huge deal. A couple of these things, when they fall, they can hit you, so just be careful with that. But like a lot of things in this game, you can just dodge into them, and it's not really a huge issue. Yeah, this is much less annoying than the the boss fight in Chapter 3 or the pre-boss fight in Chapter 3. Once again, we got another Pain here. We'll just take him out real quick. Hold the Umbran Climax, because another one comes up. Quickly throw out those 2 sword beams, and he is taken care of, yeah. Same as the Greeds, 2 sword beams takes him out, so you don't have to worry too much about him. And that is actually the last enemy, and we are just about at the end of the stage here. Just mash out some dodges just in case. There we go, pure platinum. That is not going to be the case for the next thing.
He still owes me some answers.
Your impudence will cost you your life, witch!
So you're saying diplomacy has failed, then? Surrender, or it will be more than your mask that we lose.
Umbro witch. Or shall I call Bayonetta?
That seems to be what people call me these days.
Very well then, Bayonetta. You shall be the first Umbro witch to die at my hand. On my honor as a Lumen sage.
So yes, not that the game tried very hard to hide this fact, but the Masked Lumen is indeed seemingly a time-displaced and much younger Baldur. Of course, Bayonetta's father and the main villain of the previous game. So this is where the scene at the start of the game where we saw him dying with whatever that was with him, comes all together. Now, how exactly did he get here, and why exactly does he think Loki is the one that he needs to kill? I mean, it seems clear to us that whatever happened, it wasn't Loki who did it. That guy looked a little bit different. But I'm just pausing here to collect myself, because this is easily the hardest boss fight in the game. Like so many other fights we're going to be using, or all the other fights with the Masked Lumen, we're going to be using Undine to freeze him, and we're going to use Salamandra to do our big damage. I got Eternal Testimony equipped so we can get our Umbran Climaxes out a lot faster. Alright, enough collecting myself there, let's go. This guy, he attacks fast, he attacks hard, and we do not have a full health bar, so we've got to be careful here. The really tough thing about the Baldur, I can say his real name at this point. The really tough thing about Baldur is that he has a lot of attacks that come out really quickly with very scant tells, but he also has a lot of attacks that he delays heavily, so it's very easy for your dodging to get thrown off. And of course, the practice that I did to get through these attacks has not really paid off, and I'm screwing up constantly, but that's okay. I'm going to be honest with you right now, there's going to be a lot of game overs in this chapter. I am nowhere near good enough to beat this guy consistently. Least of all when I'm actually recording, but I'll do my best to keep this as painless as possible. Okay, that attack that he does when he calls up the spear from the ground is pretty desirable to see, actually, because once you get the timing down, it's relatively easy to dodge, and it generates a good amount of witch time that allows you to get a good amount of frost on him. Of course, he's doing his time slowing there. Now, this fight does have 2 phases, and once you get past the first phase, you do get a checkpoint, so it isn't like the Prophet in the Chapter 9, where we had to do it all in one go. The game's a bit more merciful than that one was. Unfortunately, I was not able to get Umbran Climax ready before we actually managed to freeze him, so we weren't able to, losing myself there. We weren't able to get the, One thing you gotta watch out for is when he's doing those spear combos is sometimes he'll conjure up the spear before which time finishes, and you'll have to be ready to dodge as it comes out, and of course I screwed up. We're getting close here, but yeah, we get a checkpoint after we deplete 2 of his health bars, so that's the goal for me to hit. I'm gonna cut ahead to when I get that done. Alright, there we go. We're actually at the second phase. Did this a lot better than in my practice. I died like 12 times in practice, so doing a bit better here. Now we're in the second phase, and honestly, the fight actually gets a little bit easier here. He gets a bunch of new attacks, but he becomes a lot more aggressive, and that actually works better for us what is it? I'm trying to think here. Getting Witch Time. So that actually works out for us in a slight manner, but as you can see, I'm kind of screwing up here. A lot of his new attacks are actually pretty easy to dodge at this point. They're more of the heavy delays ones, so once you know to expect them, it actually is not too bad to actually dodge them. And thankfully we got a checkpoint there. I lose all my magic, but I'm not too concerned about that at this point. Like I said, this is definitely the easier phase of the fight. Once you get a feel for all his attacks, you can do a lot better on this. Okay, there we go. Yeah. You can, once again, you can dodge the time slow there to get Witch Time off of that there too, so... Okay, we're doing this okay here. I just narrowly did not see that, or just barely avoided not seeing that coming. Yeah, like I said, a lot of his attacks have heavy delay on them, so you can, once you get a feel for... There we go. Hey, this works out good. You know what? Just for fun, let's use a little bit of Umbran Climax here. Yeah, as you can see, it does not really work out as you would hope. Okay, that's where he launches a storm of feathers there, and I screwed it up. That is one of the easy attacks to dodge. I just wasn't prepared for it. I was getting too aggressive there. Alright, I'll do one more, and then if I die again, I'll cut ahead to a reasonable point where we can see the rest of the fight. Let's give this another shot. Sadly, we were not able to get through this with sub-5 continues, but like I said, I'm doing a little bit better here than I was in my practice attempt. Okay. But yeah, as you can see, it's generally easier to avoid him at this point. Okay. Wait. Ooh. Almost lost track of that. When he's doing that shield thing, honestly, you should probably just do, like, stiletto on him or something to trigger... Whoop. That attack is so brutal. You know, after you get hit, then there's a delay to it. Just rough. But yeah, as you can see, that feather attack, pretty easy to dodge. You just have to not be too aggressive. I was being over-aggressive, so that was my big fault there. But yeah, he's using a lot of these slow beam sword attacks now. Once you recognize the tells for them coming, they're pretty easy to dodge. As I say that as I get hit by one. Yeesh. Okay, is he gonna freeze? Not yet. There we go. Alright, let's hit him with this. And, ooh, hey, got caught up in a breakdance there. Nope. I saw another spear was coming, and I just let myself get hit by it. Alright, once again, I'll cut ahead to once we actually finish this guy off. I think you get a gist of how this fight works now. Hopefully I can do this admirably.
be forgiven. My soul is a lumen. He will draw his last breath before me. This is impossible.
Little one?
Where am I? Bayonetta! Get away from me!
And it seems that, once again, Loki has activated a mysterious power. So, my score looks decent, but unfortunately the continues did drive us down into stone territory. But hey, I managed to shave 10 continues off of my previous score, so go me. Fortunately, the coming chapters are nowhere near as difficult as what we have been having to deal with. Not to say that they're easy by any stretch of the imagination, but the victory lap for this game, chapters 13 through 16, definitely not as bad as chapters 7 to 12, which, to me, that is the most difficult stretch of the game. After this point, we're going to be getting more upgrades. We're finally going to be maxing out our health bar by the end of the game, so, you know, I'm getting very close to what you'd be expected to have for the entire playthrough, so, you know, it's not exactly smooth sailing from here out, but decidedly less bumpy, so... yeah, we will see what exactly has happened to Bayonetta, Baldur, and Loki when we get into the next chapter, Chapter 13, Vidgrid, City of Deja Vu. Interesting name, because I feel like I've heard that somewhere before, too. Wonder what that's about. I'm sure it's nothing, I'm sure it's nothing. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope to see you in the next video, too. But until then, goodbye.